Okay guys, I got some crazy news. I just got called in for a stat EEG. This is my first time getting called in. I'm on call right now, so we gotta go. Okay guys, we're at the hospital. Put the mask on. We gotta do the stat EEG ASAP. So I just finished the stat EEG. It went successfully. I hooked it up pretty quick. I had all my supplies ready. I went straight to the patient's room, and the reason for this EEG, the reason for the stat, maybe you guys will see this as well. This is my first time getting called in, but they wanted to check if the patient was in status epilepticus. So they wanted to make sure the patient was not constantly seizing, because if they're constantly seizing continually, that's very dangerous and they could die. So the doctor needs to know about that immediately. That's why it was a stat. That's why you call someone in to make sure they're not continually seizing. So the reason why they thought they could possibly be continually seizing is because, let's say, for example, a patient could be having myoclonic jerks, like they would be having like a full body jerk that they can't control. If the patient is totally unresponsive, you're not really gonna know unless you hook up the EEG and you can see the background. Okay, so I'm cutting to myself at a future date just so I can explain this better. So when checking for status epilepticus in a ICU patient who's unresponsive but having myoclonic jerks, it's kind of difficult to see if they're in status epilepticus because the muscle artifact is totally covering up the brain activity. So you can't really see what's going on in the brain when they're having the myoclonic jerk. So one specific thing that some doctors may do is temporarily paralyze the patient so they're not having that myoclonic jerk anymore, creating the muscle artifact. That gets rid of the muscle artifact. Then you can see clearly on the EEG the brain activity, and you'll be able to see the spike and wave brain activity if they're in status epilepticus or if they're just not having seizures at all. So that's the way to check if the patient is in status epilepticus, if they're totally unresponsive in the ICU and having myoclonic jerks. So another way I thought of to check if they're in status epilepticus is artifact removal techniques. So not just using the filters to filter out the muscle activity, because that's not really going to work too well because you're actually going to be filtering out the brain activity as well if you aggressively use the filters. So that's one downside to using the filters, at least way too aggressively. There is a way, however, to filter out muscle artifact without distorting the brain activity. So that's something I've been working on, secret techniques. I know of only one other company that does it, so it's something that we started working on this week, and I'm very excited. Haven't made much progress at all on it yet, to be honest, but it's super exciting. My company, software company, Ion, is gonna have it in the future. If it ends up working good, this way you won't have to paralyze the patient when checking for status epilepticus in that case. So that's my goal, at least for that feature. So I've been brainstorming new features with my team of engineers every single week, and that's one of the features that we came up with for that week. So thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something. Hit the like button, it really helps out, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So my first stat on-call EEG was a success, guys. I finished it successfully, and I'm pretty proud of myself. So make sure you guys hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It really helps out my videos. If you like me, I like you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Another video I want to make in the future is go over the ACNS guidelines for brain death recording, because I did my first one of those this week as well. So I want to talk to you guys about that as well. So if you have any video suggestions, let me know in the comments. Reach out to me in the direct messages. Thank you all for watching. It's about midnight. I gotta go to sleep.